transition towards a 1 plus 2 equal to 3 kind of quality growth. In other words, slow down the workforce growth from 3% to about 1%, up our productivity from 1% to 2%, and as a result, strive for a steady state of about 3% growth in our GDP. The question is, can this be done? Will we succeed? If we do not succeed, 1 plus 2 may not equal to 3. 1 plus 2 may end up being 2 or 1, worse still may be even 0. So I think as PM addresses his immediate message, I think we must succeed in this economic transition so that 1 plus 2 will equal to 3 for Singapore. How can we make this happen? All my life, I wanted to be a professor. Never have a chance to do so, but today I will play the role of an economic professor. In any economy in the world, very simply put, there's always the supply side versus the demand side to any economy. Just imagine if an economy is able to produce a lot more. So for example, an economy is able to produce this much. However, because the economy is not competitive, as a result, it's only able to export this much. So you can produce a lot, but you cannot find a market for what you're able to produce. So this supply, this demand bottleneck will actually cause, so when your supply is less than your demand, what happens? Your GDP growth will come down, eventually your unemployment will go up. This is not what we want, because 1 plus 2 will not equal to 3. The other way around, what if the demand is still strong because the economy is competitive? However, the supply is weak due to labor shortage. We are not able to produce enough to meet the global demand. As a result, our market share in the world will drop. When that happens, competition will become stronger over time. So when your supply is less than your demand, your market share will drop. Eventually, your growth will not only come down, unemployment will go up. Again, this is not what we want, because 1 plus 2 will not equal to 3. What we are trying to do for us to succeed is that on the one hand, we must make sure that on the demand side, we must continue to remain competitive. Right? If we are able to remain competitive, then we will be able to continue to grow our demand, find markets for what we produce, and at the same time, we must continue to become more productive. Right? So if you are able to become more productive at the same time, so being productive and competitive at the same time, then demand can grow, supply can grow, then 1 plus 2 will be equal to 3. Right? And if this were to happen, what does it mean for the workers? Why is it so important that we succeed? At the end of the day, what we hope is that all this will translate into better jobs, better pay, and better work-life balances for our workers, for our people. So in other words, this from the labor movement point of view, this is what success should look like for Singapore. Competitive, productive, and at the same time ensure that Singaporean workers will have better job, better pay, and better work life. And if we can succeed doing that, which we must, hopefully this will bring this smile to the face of many Singaporeans. Right?